Hello, and welcome back to another Pen Talk. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for following me along in my exploration of the wide world of pens. I needed my PenBBS fix. Yes, I needed it. So I picked these three pens for my next purchase. I buy on Etsy. Here's the listing of those three orders. Combined shipping is good. It's easy. I know PenBBS sells on eBay, and I used to buy from them occasionally on eBay, but I just stopped and just use Etsy. It's easier to find stuff on Etsy, and they seem to have the newer models and a lot more models on Etsy, so that's why I do it. I picked these three for various reasons, and we'll go through those reasons as we look at each pen individually. And they are now all have a label made in China in case there was any confusion over the source of this product. Yes, the 487 Winter Night is definitely turntable worthy. I just think it's a beautiful kind of blue on the purple side resin. That's my colorblind eyes interpreting that resin, with some very nice sparkles in it. Not a lot, just a little bit, and really reminiscent of a clear winter night. It's 487111. 111 is the designation of that winter night resin. And I do have another pen which we'll look at again later on. I think we need to come in a little bit closer, and maybe it'll show off a little bit more of that resin. It is, again, something relatively unique. I haven't seen a lot of pens like this. Sailor, I think, is starting to do a little bit of sparkle. I have some that are solid color, but this one just kind of looks nice. And Mr. Crab is very, very happy to be holding up this beautiful pen for your visual entertainment. Let's do some comparisons. So I have one other Winter's Night pen, which is the 491 model, which has a lot of things in common with that 487. No cap band is one of the things in common. It's a little bit conical at the top where this is flat, but that's necessitated because of that magnet in there, which has to have pretty good contact to move that piston up and down. And it's also conical to the other end, but you get to see what it looks like when you fill it with ink. Sparkles are even more noticeable. It looks like the 491 pen here is out of production because there's only one left on the Etsy PenBBS website. I think that's sad because I think that was a really nice minimalistic design, very inexpensive pen also, and I think the way it was machined really shows off the resins that it's made of. So as soon as I got this 487, obviously the first thing I did was see how easily that magnetic piston moves up and down. And hopefully I can demonstrate now live over the camera. But I was able to move it right away easily, which is not something I can say about all the 487s. And now it appears to be stuck. I should have left, there we go. So once it starts moving, it moves fine. And who knows why it didn't start moving, but I was turning it. And if you turn the barrel as you move the piston, I think it facilitates moving it easier, which the instructions tell you about that come with the pen. And now you can see it's moving quite easily. So this one moves easier than any of the other pistons I've had in any of my other 487s. And I like that. And we're going to leave the piston in the middle. Hopefully it makes it easier to restart. So I have three of the 487 magnetic pistons. Winter's Night, Autumn, and Hotoro, which is this like fluorescent green. And here's a 492. And the challenge with these magnetic pens is they seem to have a mind of their own, as magnets attract and repel each other, and the pistons attract each other, the caps attract each other, so that's where it's at. And I do love those three models of 487 that I have. I mean, again, shows that extreme variety that PenBBS can put into their different models, and it looks nice. I'll try to show them in some relative order there and hold them still so those magnets don't make them move on their own. And of course, we can't ignore the first limited edition magnetic filler, the 492, Year of the Rat. So I give PenBBS a lot of credit. They do a lot of good things, but this is one of the ones that I am extremely pleased about, where they explain the fact that that piston could get stuck, and turning the plunger around can solve this problem after the first step, which is having the magnet attached to it, as shown in figure 2. Very good when a manufacturer says, hey, it may not work perfectly, and here's a solution that might help. The 456 now comes with instructions, and they're very detailed, with illustrations and English. So I give them kudos for continuing to improve their product, improve their user satisfaction, and of course on the other side, it's in Chinese. So this is the next pen to explore, the 456 in dark paint, which is 114, the color number. As you can see, that nice flat mirrored finish does pick up oil and fingerprints, but that's no big deal. I just love the 456 primarily because I enjoy the way it feels in the hand when writing. I think the weight and the balance and everything else is just perfect. The size of the section is perfect. The vac fill works as best as any vac filler I've ever used. And I have one over 2 years old, which has been in use regularly and works fine. And what dark paint reminds me of is smog, but instead of white swirls, it's black swirls. I think both of them are nice, but I have to say that in my eyes, the dark swirls, I just think are a little more classy, a little more subtle. And dark paint is also a finish that is not that common. I only have two other ones, a 323 and a 481. They just excite me and interest me, and I love that kind of like random chaotic swirling patterns. And for two pens without clips, I just like that clean look. You really get to enjoy that pen and its design, and they're all great writing pens, which is really the real motivator for my interests. And the last pen of the group is this 456 in billows with a transparent barrel, which I think is very good to see how when that blind cap is all the way down, that seal, the piston seals off the top of the feed. So when you turn it, it comes away, and then ink can flow in there, and you can see that how it's narrow there. And I've unscrewed it all the way. These work very well as piston fillers. That piston moves very nicely, and then when you push it down, since I have the cap on, it's hard to push down because there's no place for the air to go. And then when you go to the bottom, it'll pull up ink. So that's nice. And I do have one other 456 with a clear barrel, and that's this. I think it's a Franken pen because it's infinity with matte gold trim on it. I got it from a reseller on Etsy. who called it a Franken pen, but sold it for a great price, and I picked it up and I really enjoyed it. So that's kind of like shows you some variations of the 456 model. This 456 is an older model, and it didn't have any instructions like it was in the dark paint one. People have asked, how do you keep track of your pens? So I've created a PenBBS spreadsheet, and I have 6 columns that I hope to be able to delineate the pens. You can see I have a fair number of 308s. This version of the model is sorted. This version of the spreadsheet is sorted by model and then by color, and I use that number of the color that PenBBS has indicated, and then I use the name, because a lot of times the name is how you know it, and sometimes the name changes, but it's usually written on the box. And as you can see, I have a fair number of pens in almost every model. 480s, another model that I like, and I do have a great variety of finishes, and I do have some duplicates, as we talked about in an earlier video. And I have over 140 pens in this spreadsheet. What else you can do is sort by color, so you can see how many you have of each color. Again, this is why I enjoy spreadsheets, and I think spreadsheets are an easy way to organize information, to find information. You can also search a spreadsheet if it gets too big, but you can see what I have in cedar. I do like leaf. I try to get every pen in clear glass, just because I thought that was appropriate, and sometimes I call it transparent. But I do have a lot of clear pens in the vermouth, and I have a number of vermouth pens. As we go through this, we'll see the great variety of colors and resins and things of that nature that PenBBS uses, and I don't think any pen maker has as many, either models or colors. One of the new things I included was that model number or item number, which I think is more of a tracking number, and I haven't yet figured out the purpose of that 7-digit number, except the first 3 is the pen model number, and then the last 4 may be the series of it in that production of that. So yes, these pens are definitely crab and turntable worthy. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this look at a pen maker that I fell in love with, and I'm not the only one who's done that. And these are 3 good examples. As many, I could grab 3 other of my 140 some pens and also make the same statements about quality of manufacturing, fit and finish, incredible resins, beautiful colors, and unique combinations, filling systems. The only downside is there's limited number of nibs, but the nibs are primarily designed for their principal market, which is in China. And I'm glad that us buyers in the Western world have an opportunity to enjoy these pens also. So may you have many great writing experiences. May you enjoy putting nib to paper and putting out that ink flow, creating something, doodling, just random thoughts, whatever floats your boat. So we've reached the end of this video. We're going to say bye for now. Hope you're all safe, healthy, and happy. See you in the next video. And we're going to wait for them to just come around. We like symmetry in our videos.